How do we evaluate functions? Here in this problem, we are given three functions. We are given the function rule f, we are given the function rule g, and we are given the function rule h. And we have to evaluate the following questions, the following functions for this given information. So before I do the first problem f of a, I'm just going to show you how to evaluate it with the number. For example, f of 5. That's how you read it. Okay, a function f parenthesis x is read as f of x, or f of 5 in this case. So the first thing to identify is you have to look at which function are we talking about. Are we talking about the f function rule, or the g, or the h? So this letter is f here, so I'm going to look at this first rule. F of x, the rule is given as 2 times x plus 3. Whatever comes in the place of x, I have to times it by 2 and add 3. That's what it means. So let me write f of x over here. F of x is equal to 2x plus 3. So now in the place of x, it's replaced by the number 5. Alright, so all we have to do is, instead of x, substitute 5. I'm not going to write x here. I'm going to rewrite the rule of f here. It's 2x plus 3, but instead of x, I'm going to plug in the new value of x, or I'm going to replace x by 5. And then I'm going to evaluate it. Right? When you evaluate it, always remember the rules of Pemdas. That is, you have to do parentheses first, exponents next, multiplication and division, whatever comes from left to right, whatever comes first, you do that first. Between addition and subtraction, when you go from left to right, whatever comes first, you do that first. Remember the rules to apply Pemdas rules or order of operation rules when you are trying to simplify these expressions here. So we should not add 5 plus 3 first. We know multiplication comes first. So 2 times 5, 10, plus 3, the answer is 13 for f of 5. So evaluate just means change the value of x and plug in the new value, or substitute the new value that is given to you and simplify the expression and get the answer. That's what it means by evaluating functions. So now let's do the problems that are given on the screen. The first problem here is f of a. So it just means that I have to look at the f rule, which is the first rule over here, and instead of x, I got to plug in the variable a. It does not always have to be numbers. Sometimes we substitute variables with other variables or other letters. So I'll have 2 times a plus 3 as my answer. I cannot combine them because they are not like terms. So this is it. This is my answer for the first one. Next problem, which is h of negative 5x. So since this rule is talking about the h function rule, I have to look at this one right here. H of x is equal to x minus 2. That's where I'm going to substitute for x in the h rule. So let me write the h function rule right above it so that we can connect to it easily. H of x is equal to x minus 2. So h of negative 5x must be x minus 2, but my new x is going to be negative 5x. So my answer is negative 5x minus 2, and that's it. That's my answer. I cannot combine it because they're not like terms again. So we are done with the first two questions, f of a and h of negative 5x. Let's do the third one, g of 3b. Again, it's talking about rule g, function rule g, not f, not h, but rule g. And the function rule for g is g of x, the rule is given to be x squared minus 4. So instead of x, I have to put my new value minus 4. In the place of x, I'm going to substitute it by 3b. So remember to put parentheses, otherwise you will end up writing 3b squared minus 4 without realizing that the square is for both the numbers. It is for both of them, for b and for 3. So always put parentheses when you're substituting and working out the problems of evaluating functions. So we know that the square is for the 3 and the square is for the b and minus 4, and we know that 3 square is 9, so 9b square minus 4. Again, since they're not like terms, we are done, and that's our final answer. Our next question is h of x plus 5. I'm just going to clear the screen so that we'll have more space for the next problem. H of x plus 5. So we have to look at the rule for h, function rule h. It says that h of x is supposed to be x minus 2. So in my new rule, I have to take x and I have to subtract 2. So what do I have in the place of x? I have x plus 5. So I'm going to substitute x with x plus 5. So sometimes we'll have to substitute another expression for x, like not just one, not a monomial, like a binomial like this. Again, when we combine it, we get x plus 5 minus 2. And we know that in this case, we can combine the 5 minus 2 and we can get 5 minus 2 as positive 3. So that's our answer. Next question, f of 4x squared plus 3 in the rule for f. So we're looking at function rule f here. It says 2 times x plus 3. So our new x is nothing but 4x squared plus 3. It's an expression in itself. Okay, it's a rule in itself. So what we do here is, if you have parentheses, we have to distribute the number 2 inside the parentheses. So 2 times 4x squared is 8x squared. 2 times positive 3 is 6. And then lastly, I have this 3, which I bring it down here. Is there anything to combine at this point? We know that we can combine 6 and 3, and we can write 6 plus 3 is 9. So that's our final expression for that answer. And lastly, the problem g of x minus 2. Okay, so let's try to do g of x minus 2. So we're looking at the rule for g, and g rule says that take x, square it, and subtract 4. But instead of x now, I have to substitute x minus 2. So in this problem, we are asked to square a binomial. Algebraic expression with 2 terms is called a binomial. Let me just show you how to square a binomial in the next screen. So x minus 2, the whole square, just means x minus 2 multiplied to x minus 2. So we distribute, what we do here is we distribute the first term to both the terms in the second binomial. So x times x will be x squared, x times negative 2 will be negative 2x. Now I'm going to distribute the second term to both the terms here. Negative 2 times x is negative 2x. Negative 2 times negative 2 is positive 4. So when we combine, we get x squared. These two combine together. Negative 2x is negative 4x plus 4. So that's what we get when we do x squared, x minus 2 the whole square. So this is what I'm going to plug in for that. X squared minus 4x plus 4. Minus 4x plus 4. And then lastly, I have this minus 4 at the end. So my answer becomes, is there anything to combine here? I cannot combine anything with x squared. I cannot combine anything with negative 4x. But the positive 4 and the negative 4 will cancel, and I'm done with this expression. That's my final answer for g of x minus 2. So that's how you evaluate functions. All you have to do is take out the x and plug in the new value that is given to you and simplify.